Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here and I really do appreciate your time. I wanted to quickly give my thoughts on this video I came across where this man is on a podcast. I'm not sure if the podcast itself is brought to you by Black Millionaires or if Black Millionaires is an account that clipped their post or their podcast. I'm not exactly sure, but I wanted to quickly react to this video, give my thoughts and opinion on what this man is saying. It's a fairly short clip, so this video won't be long. I did want to make a video about this, so let's go.
To be like, am I willing to die for this?
I'm not. I'm not willing to die
I think
for it.
dying for your wife and your family, I can understand.
Because it's dangerous. It's not fearful. It's a dangerous
Kids,
situation.
yeah.
Wife too. 'Cause
Wife,
you bought
no.
her. Look, you bought her though.
I'm not.
I mean, like once you.
I'm not dying for my wife, my nigga.
What are you doing in a dangerous situation?
If me and my wife are running because two niggas are shooting at us and she trip, I'm gonna keep running.
You and your wife.
Me and my wife.
Who hurt you?
Nobody. I'm just saying I'd keep running.
Okay, so I would say this. If you are a married man and you're married to a woman that you don't feel is worth you dying for, there's a possibility that you selected the wrong young lady for yourself, and that is why you do not feel that she is worth you giving up your life. I understand that we live in a society where young women are taught to devalue the position of being a man and what comes with being a man and what roles men are expected to uphold and fulfill. And it's devalued. You see a lot of times women talking about it as if they don't need a man, that they can pretty much do it themselves, that they can learn how to do it, and then men as a species are irreplaceable, or rather exchangeable for women. And I understand how that kind of rhetoric over time has caused some men to feel like, well, why even try? Like, why work so hard to fulfill these expectations of masculinity just for it to be devalued and belittled? To interact with young ladies who don't seem to care or want me to act in that role, who want to kind of compete with me in that role or for that role. But then the flip side of that, and I feel is possibly a reason why so many women don't value men and don't value when they act like men and when they fulfill traditional roles, is because there's not that many men that can fulfill those roles. If you think about it, whenever we talk about someone breaking into the house, you expect your husband to go downstairs with a firearm or some type of weapon and protect your household. And I don't know if those types of young men are running around in large numbers anymore. A lot of times when you're on social media, we observe men showing that that's not them. They're not the type of traditionally masculine men that fix cars and hang TVs and have power tools and can fix this and can defend you in a fight and work out. And they're not. They are much more metrosexual and just as concerned about living a soft life as a lot of women are. And I think what that has done over time, to be fair, is teach women not to depend on men, not to look to men to fulfill certain roles and expectations, because it's not going to happen. And I think this conversation, most of the gender wars topics come down to it being one coin on different sides. You have men no longer wanting to be men because it's too hard to fulfill these standards. A lot of the OGs and the older guys that would have taught the past generation didn't teach the next generation, and so the knowledge and them kind of being put on, having the wisdom, having the experience, that's not available anymore because they either did not teach that or it just wasn't available because you didn't have access to those men, whether it was your father, your uncles, whoever. If you don't have access to someone who can teach you these things, and you can't be taught them. And then I think the same coin, other side, is I think, a lot of women are responding to that, to seeing that, especially when you're talking about how most Black American families are matriarchies. And most of the time, women are the ones fixing things and taking care of things and handling business. And of course, there's a conversation to be had about whether or not that's been positive, or have Black women been able to steer our community into a better position. There's a conversation to be had about that. But at the same time, when you truly do understand that women are making do with what they have, it becomes less about, okay, well, it's your fault, right? And I think we have to stop trying to figure out who did what first and who started what first, and just evaluate what we can do now, and moving forward, how can we be correcting to our children, to the next generation? Because many of us are already set in our ways. We already have patterns of behavior that really can't be abandoned at this point. And so that's why you have a married man sitting on a podcast saying proudly and boldly that he would not die for his wife. He would not protect his wife, because he's comfortable in that statement, because he understands that most men are going to agree with him. You know, I think there's a lot of men who find it hard to fathom being so in love and dedicated and committed to a woman that you will want to die for her, because they have not come across many young ladies that they feel that they would even feel those feelings for. And again, I understand that. I empathize with that. I think the offerings of both men and women nowadays are probably not the best, especially when you're talking about eligibility for marriage. I think most men and most women today, marriage is not going to be the end goal. It's not. I don't recommend it. I don't think that it is going to end up being for everybody, and that is for the best. I think that to be married, have a successful marriage, requires a certain type of character and a certain type of dedication to your commitments that I just don't feel like most people have or know how to exercise nowadays. They don't practice it. And so I think most people should stay away from marriage, men and women. Really, I think most men would not qualify to be husbands, and most women would not qualify to be wives. I'll go on ahead and add mothers and fathers. Y'all should stop having kids, okay? Y'all should stop creating situations in which you're going to fail, because it's not genuinely what you're socialized to succeed in. Yes, that's how I feel. Fatherhood and being a husband is no joke. It's not something that you can play around with. It's an extremely high calling. It's a serious responsibility. And if it's not something that you as a man feel you can take on, it's best that you don't. Being a wife and a mother is a high calling. It's something that you have to take serious every day. And if you don't think as a woman that's something that you would really want to do, then you shouldn't. And I think you have a lot of people who think marriage is a logical next step, and people who have already gotten married that didn't really want to be married and don't really believe in marriage and don't really have what it takes within to sustain a long-term relationship, let alone marriage. That's pretty much it. I think that's really the sauce. This man, I don't think should be married. I have to just be honest. For you to publicly say, I'm not dying for my wife. I'm not dying for my wife. Well, why are you married? I don't. What? Why even get married? I don't know. But yes, that's all I have to say concerning this clip. Please drop below and tell me how you feel. What are your reactions? What are your thoughts? Please don't forget to give my video a thumbs up before you go, and maybe a share as well. All right, take care.